drivers, start your engines. Welcome to the half-decent racing league. Hey! We ain't the best, but we ain't last. Set up from Reddit, hope they're fast. Missed the apex, but still talk trash. Totally planned it, yeah, hit the gas. Paint scheme's clean, lines are not cold tires, yeah. We forgot 3 wide racing, bad idea. Still send it anyway, no fear. We're sidetrack kings till we spin. Blame netcode every time we don't win. We're half decent, loud and proud, not quite legends, but we're running this crowd from green to checkers. Yeah, we send it hard, just good enough to tear up your car. Half decent, that's our name. Somewhere between has been in fame. Checkered flag or caution light, we're bringing chaos every night. Right rear hook, he turned me bro. Replaces, yeah, that's a no. Missed your break, just call it bold. Track tightened up, story sold. Lap cars fight like it's the lead. Every restart turns to greed. Spotters scream and hold your line. Too late, buddy, we're 4 wide. We talk like pros in the chat, then junk it all in turn 1 flat. We're half decent, loud and proud, not quite legends, but we're running this crowd from green to checkers. Yeah, we send it hard, just good enough to tear up your car. Half decent, that's our name. Somewhere between has been in fame. Checkered flag or caution light, we're bringing chaos every night. Netcode, wasn't me. That was just latency. Lock spike, save my pride. Yeah, you drove it in too wide. Netcode, wasn't me. That was just latency. Lock spike, save my pride. Yeah, you drove it in too wide. We ain't pros, but we ain't done. We chase that win like it's Daytona. Every week we show back up. Half decent, but that's enough. We're half decent. Hear the roar, not quite perfect, but we're back for more. Rubbing fenders, crossing lines, living fast in these sim race lives. We're half decent. Own the fight, little rough, but we're alright. Win or lose, we light up the track, and you know we will be back. Half decent, full throttle. See you next week, if your rig survives.
And here we are, another Friday night with a half-decent racing league. Week number 8. We find ourselves at Rockingham. 210 laps around Rockingham tonight for the half-decent racing league. Looks like we got about 20 drivers here in the field. Qualifying actually has about 5 minutes set, but looks like they've already resumed qualifying. So let's see if we can pull up our standings right now in qualifying. Matt Dickerson actually up on the pole. Let's see here. All right, it's going to be Matt Dickerson right now with fast time, even though the timing and score doesn't really show us that. Colton Gardner. So we're coming into tonight, 7 races in. Last week we were at Martinsville. It was Cliff Adams bringing home the win at Martinsville last week. Kind of a foggy, it was a long race at Martinsville,
Adams,
but
Williams, Singleton,
a little bit foggy into it right there. But as you can see right there in the highlight reel, Adams leading the last lapper. Shane Williams was all over the back of the 80 of Cliff Adams, but Cliff was able to hang on for the win, bring home his 2nd victory of the season. And that actually is going to move Cliff up a spot in the point standings. We'll pull up the point standings right now, see where we are as we're getting ready to get started up. Matt Dickerson still with the lead. 369 points out in front of Cliff Adams by 27. Jesse Singleton, Zachary Steele, Charlie Bowen, Shane Williams with his finish last week in 2nd moved up into the 6th spot, up 2 spots. Aiden O'Neill, Jacob Barker, Cody Zierhoff, Connor Fuse is going to round out our top 10 in the points. And it's TJ Williams, Benedict Ringer, Todd Rush, Chris Farmer, Mark Oser round out our top 15 there in the point standings. 210 laps at the Rock. That's a great shot right there of the Rock here. This is going to be an exciting one for sure. See if Matt Dickerson can stay up front. He started up front last week, but kind of fell back through the field. It was Matt Dickerson and Colton Gardner up front for early on in that race last week, but fell to the back, got involved in some trouble. We had quite a few cautions in that race. As we're going to get started up here, we got about 3 minutes left to go. Figured we have some cars still out on the racetrack. Let's see if we can pull up our standings here once again. Not quite sure why the tower is starting at 11th, so we'll have to see if we can fix that somewhere. Alright, we'll just have to wait till that's over there. I guess that's a little odd, but alright, my name's Chris Murphy of DRSN. Happy to be here with you tonight. This is our second week covering the Half Decent Racing League. We were here last week for Martinsville, as we said. Going to be here all season long. Appreciate you being there with us. I see we got a few viewers out there already. CZ Motorsports at the top. Yes, they are. And there's no H in Cody's last name of Zuroff. All right, appreciate that, Cracker Jack. That's it's definitely one of my weaknesses is pronunciation. See, I can't even hardly say that word of names. So appreciate any help we could get. So Cody Zuroff right there. He's not qualified too well tonight. Cody back there in the 17th spot. As we can see, his CZ Motorsports teammates of Charlie Bowen up there in 5th right now in qualifying. Zachary Steele, Matthew Hobbs, Cody Zuroff, and Todd Rush back there in 18th. So CZ Motorsports represented strong here tonight. 5 drivers in the field. Minute and 48 seconds left to go here in qualifying. We're going to see if we can... The Rock 200 here at Rockingham. Brought to you by Ron Kendall Masonry. Here tonight, another one of the sponsors here of the Half Decent Racing League. Also TGK. Going to bring you all the caution flags. So hopefully not too many tonight. They got their money's worth last week. I think we had 23 cautions last week. And Matt Hobbs is not in season. Okay, well, maybe your guys' website was wrong. Maybe I pulled it from the wrong place. So we'll remove Matt Hobbs from CZ Motorsports. Let's see if we can find him in our stuff here. We're just gonna put Matt Hobbs nowhere. How's that? Thanks for that, Todd. Appreciate it. All right, a few more seconds here, wrapping up a couple of our sponsors here tonight. Bringing you coverage here. Corbin Matthews, country music singer, is going to have a new song coming out next week. Check it out if you like some good country music. Check out Corbin Matthews. If you're new to DRSN here tonight, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give us a like. Let's get some activity going in the chat. Appreciate everybody already jumping in there and helping to correct some of our missteps already this evening, as we haven't even got the race started. So appreciate that. All right, about 20 seconds left to go. We'll start getting gridded up here. We have a message retracted from TJ Williams. TJ, I'm not sure what you were trying to say in there, buddy, but looks like YouTube did not like that. All right. Qualifying has now ended. And that's going to allow us to show you the qualifying results. And it's Matt Dickerson with the pole with a 23.563. Colton Gardner right there behind him at a 5.79. Justin Kruger. Justin had kind of a rough week last week, but ended up finishing pretty well. Going to start third tonight. Connor Fuse, also the great start here, up in 4th. Charlie Bowen, Cliff Adams, Shane Williams, Jesse Singleton, Kyle Sosha, and Eli Stack. That's going to be your top 10 here in qualifying. We'll give you a full rundown once everybody gets up on the grid. All right, let's see. Todd's been pretty active there in the chat. Hey, Todd, how about you give us a green flag fuel window? What do you think? All right. Everybody getting gridded up here, so we're going to go ahead and pull up our starting grid here before they start rolling off. We've got 20, looks like 19 drivers strong. Looks like Mark Osier is going to make the field. Roster shows 21, but one of those cars is our choose cone car of Corey Beaudenot. Or Bordeaux, if it's Louisiana Cajun. All right, here's our starting grid on the pole for tonight here at Rockingham for the Half Decent Racing League. It's going to be the 44, your points leader, Matt Dickerson to his outside. And the 41 is going to be Colton Gardner. Get back to the second row, inside of row number 2, the 29 of Justin Kruger and Connor Fuse to his outside. Starting in the 5th spot, Charlie Bowen, and last week's winner at Martinsville in the 80, Cliff Adams. Back to row number 4, starting in 7th. Finished 2nd last week, Shane Williams and Jesse Singleton. Row number 5, starting in the 9th spot, it's going to be Kyle Soha and Eli Stack in the 9. Eli made the highlights reel for the intro tonight, if you caught the new intro for the Half Decent Racing League. Jacob Barker going to start in 11th. To his outside of row number 6, it's going to be the 98 of TJ Williams. In the 13th spot, the Mountain Dew, the throwback to Darrell Williams, Mountain Dew sponsor Jack Robbins in the 52, Zachary Steele in 14th. In the 15th starting spot, inside of row number 8, Chris Farmer, and to his outside, Matthew Hobbs. Starting in 17th, it's Cody Zerhoff and Todd Rush Jr. And back in row number 10, bringing up the rest of the field, it is Stephen Farrell, and that's our choose cone, the mini of Corey Beaudenot. That is going to round out our 20-car field, and Mark Osier back here, he's actually going to start in 20th. You can see him back there kind of by himself. All right, coming around 3 and 4 right now. We're going to take the green flag here as the pace car is going to pull in off of 4 down into pit road. Keys here tonight going to be tire management and just smooth inputs, not doing anything, just keeping the tires underneath of you, and we're going to see who can go for the long runs here. We expect some long green flag runs here at Rockingham, nothing like we saw at Martinsville last week, and it's going to be a good start for Dickerson as we come green. Dickerson with Kruger in tow. Actually, Gardner's going to fall back a couple sparks. Starting outside the second row, that did not work out for him. He's now back to 4th. As Bowling's going to make his way around that 3rd spot. It looks like the 19 of Connor Fuse, a little bit of push there in the corner, is going to push up to the top of the racetrack. He has got Singleton to his inside. But right there in front of him, Adams now going to make a move around Gardner. He's going to move up the spot. Adams, last week's winner, now up to 5th. Up front, we're single file. Dickerson, Kruger, Bowling, and Williams. Bowling going to look to the inside of Kruger across the start-finish line into turn number 1. Let's see if Bowling has enough pace down there. Kruger's going to do a good job kind of keep him down there, pinched to the bottom of the racetrack. Bowling not able to get a great run off of 2, but he is going to find some speed halfway down the back straightaway. He's got to run into 3. Can he get by Kruger? He is going to make the pass. Bowling now up 3 spots, started in 5th, up to 2nd. The 5 car looking really good early on right now, but Dickerson's already out by about 0.8 of a second. Back through the field, Eli Stack here in the 9, trying to find a little bit different groove, running way up the top of the racetrack. A little bit of bobble right there. Also, we saw Jack Robbins there in the background on the 52 kind of catch the wall off of turn number 2, but he's going to get it straightened out. Dickerson still stretching out that lead. It's almost a full 0.8 of a second. Back to second place of Bowling. Williams now to the outside of Adams. Adams for alongside, going to head down the back straightaway here. The 80 going to look to take up another spot. They ran 1 and 2 last week. They're side by side here early on, 5 laps into this race, and Adams going to move up on this spot. He is going to bring the 41 of Gardner along with him. Williams stuck on the outside. He catches the wall a little bit right there at the start-finish line. Does not get a good run into 1 and 2 right there. Williams is going to lose a little bit more ground there. He's going to fall back to 6th. Take a look back here at the 54 of Cody Zerhoff. There's a little tire smoke right there in front of this group. I'm not sure who that was. Might have been the 9 of Stack. Oh, and the 51 of Singleton into the wall hard. Bounces off of his lucky. Stack didn't get into the back of him right there, but Singleton now regroups down to the bottom of the racetrack, so we keep an eye here on Singleton and Barker. Eli Stack going to make a move to the inside of the 51. Looks like Singleton's really struggling. He's got that car pretty tight off the corner. He's going to lose a little bit more ground right there. He has to back out of the throttle. Kind of almost overcorrects it. Almost collects the 88 of steel. Come back up to the front. Cliff Adams looks to be blinking a little bit. He keeps disappearing off my timing and scoring. We take a look here at the 80 of Cliff Adams, last week's winner, as we said, right there in front of Colton Gardner, trying to chase down the 29 of Kruger. Kruger had jumped up to the second spot, but lost that spot to Bowling. Bowling actually making up some ground. That was 0.8 of a second early on. It is now under a half a second, so Bowling making up some ground here on our leader of Matt Dickerson. TGK Hauling and Junk Removal, another one of our sponsors here of the Half Decent Racing League. They'll bring you, sponsor all the caution flags here tonight, if we have any. Maybe we'll go green all the way through this thing. 210 laps of green flag racing at Rockingham. Pretty good one. Some side-by-side racing back here in the back of the pack, or about middle pack here, 11th, 12th. You see Fuse to the outside, Zerhoff down to the bottom right there, running side-by-side. This is for 11th and 12th. And Fuse is going to run into the outside wall right there. He's going to take some damage on that right side. He is going to fall back here a few more spots. Soha and Robbins also get by him. So Fuse now back to 14th. As Charlie Bolin continues to make up ground on the 44 Dickerson. And we got a meatball flag for Williams. Williams looks like he's got some heavy damage on the right side of that car. We'll see if it brings out a caution. No, he is going to make it down the pit road. You can see just how tore up the right front of that car. You can see right here from this right front shot. Right front tire not even moving, so heavy damage there for the 98 of Williams. You see limps into pit road. And the battle up front is shaping up right here. Dickerson now falling back a little farther. Bowling reeling him in. Look, the last time by, Bowling about 100th of a second faster, but actually the fastest car on the track last time around was the 41 of Gardner. And you can see Gardner about back there in the back of the picture, kind of on the right side of the screen. He is coming as well. So we are looking to have a 4-car race for the lead here real shortly. All right, Matt Dickerson, Charlie Bolin. We're going to keep an eye on this battle, but we're also going to take a look here throughout the field. Kyle Soha in the 11. Right there on the back of Zerhoff, but actually Zerhoff starting to pull away now. Eli Stack up here in the 9th. Got Singleton. Singleton was struggling early. You can see still struggling here, so he's starting to fall back a little bit more. Zerhoff looking right on his back bumper. Zerhoff going to look to the inside down here. Singleton struggling to keep that car down on the bottom of the racetrack. And Kruger's now caught Charlie Bolin here in the 5, so Charlie's been making up a lot of ground. Did he use up his stuff trying to reel in Dickerson, and now Justin Kruger in the 29 able to make up a little bit of ground here on the 5, so it looks like Charlie might have pushed it a little too hard here as he is now starting to fall back a little bit. He had closed that gap to Dickerson to about 3/10, but it's now back to about a half a second. And he has got his hands full with Justin Kruger. Kruger now going to go down to the inside. Try to take that second spot away from Bolin. Bolin able to get a good run down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Got 4 or 5 car separation there, but here comes Kruger one more time off the corner, across the start-finish line to complete lap number 17. Into turn number 1. Kruger's got his sights set on the 5 of Bolin, but just can't quite get there yet. It's a battle for 9th, 10th, and 11th. Jesse Stack, or Eli Stack, Singleton, and Zerhoff. Zerhoff's going to be able to get by Singleton. He's looking to make it a 2 for right there. He's also going to get up alongside the 9 of Stack. Singleton's going to try to follow through. We're almost 3 wide there for the 9th spot. Zuroff's going to be able to get up in the ninth, going to bring Singleton along with him. Stack going to lose a couple of spots within about half a straightaway distance. And also Kyle Soha right there behind him as well. So Stack struggling here. He is going to lose 3. Oh, and looks like we got something going on right in front. I can't quite tell who that was. It looks like, see if the tire smoke it. It looks like it might have been Williams again. Who was that on the inside of the racetrack? And it's Connor Fuse in the 19. So it looks like Fuse is going to take some damage. He is going to limp his way down pit road here. We are going to stay green. Something must have happened up here in front because Dickerson now 1.3 seconds out in front of Kruger. Let's see if we can find the replay here of when Kruger got around Bowlings for second. Oh yeah, so Bowling got up into the outside wall, went out, overcorrected, had to drive to the bottom. That allowed Kruger to get around the outside, but at the same time, that really slowed him up. Let Dickerson get away a little bit as they run side by side for about coming off a 4. So a mistake there for Bowling, and actually he is going to lose another spot. And it looks like Cliff Adams also got past him, so Bowling now back to 4th. He looked to be pretty quick early. He made up a lot of ground on Matt Dickerson. But unfortunately, Bowling now is going to fall back to 4th. He has got Colton Gardner all over the back of him. Gardner now going to take a look to the inside. Not so sure if Bowling just drove the wheels off that thing and just used up his tires. But he is definitely off the pace here. We're about 23 laps into this run. I'm expecting, nobody got back to me here on the green flag run, but I would guess we're going to run probably at least 50 to 60 laps on this tank of fuel. All right, so it looks like we also got Jesse Singleton. So Jesse going to come in and take on some tires, get some repairs done, it looks like. Connor Fuse still getting some repairs down in the pits. You can see Connor sitting down there. He's been down there for quite a while, and he's been down there for about 58 seconds. Actually, a minute and a half now as I look up at the time. So Dickerson's led every single lap of this race, started on the pole. Looked like he was going to have a little bit of a challenge there from Charlie Bolin, but Charlie falling back through the field right now. Let's see if Kruger or Adams has anything for him. Gardner now back up to 4th. He started in 2nd. Lost a couple spots early. Maybe he's just trying to save his stuff. We'll see who has the best stuff here at the end of this long run. Also watching for Shane Williams. Shane looked pretty good at the end of those long runs at Martinsville last week. Let's see if he has the same tire saving abilities here at Rockingham as he did last week. So we'll keep an eye on the 25. Side by side here, Eli Stack and Chris Farmer in the 31 car. So Stack kind of been up and down here a little bit. He was up as high as 9th, now back to 12th. He's trying to reel in the 31 of Farmer. I think Farmer just got by him here recently. He did about, it looks like about a couple laps ago. So Stack is really struggling. And when we take a look there, he pushes it up through 3 and 4 into the outside wall one more time. So the 9 not having a great day so far here at Rockingham. Right now it is all Matt Dickerson. Adams has got around Kruger for that 2nd spot. Let's see if Adams has anything for him. Take a look at that pass for 2nd here. They headed down to turn number 3. You can see Kruger saw Adams coming down on the bottom, just gave him the line. And Adams going to make that look easy as it comes off of turn number 4, taking that 2nd spot away from Justin Kruger. Robin's back here also struggling. He has got the 40 of Hopkins inside. So right now, it is Vortex Motorsports up front, 1 and 2. Stephen Farrell back there in the 13th place. So Vortex Motorsports is looking really strong here so far tonight. But is the Timu, I'm not sure where they get that name. Is that supposed to be like I'm guessing maybe like the budget Joe Gibbs team, so it's Timu Joe Gibbs. So we got Kruger, Soha, and Hobbs, 3rd, 9th, and 17th right now. Oh, 3 wide right up here in front of our leader. That was Cliff Adams splitting the 40 and the 52. Not something you really want to do in lap traffic, but Cliff got through there right there, so we're getting lap traffic here early. As Hobbs has not made a pit stop, either has Robbins, so already going a lap down. So blistering pace set here by our leader, Matt Dickerson. Looking up at the times, he is the fastest car on the racetrack by about a half a tenth, about 5/100ths of a second so far. And he is reeling in a couple more lap cars. You can see Eli, Stack, Todd Rush, Mark Osier right there in front of him. Stack into the wall again. Stack is really struggling. He has got to have some damage on the right front of that car right now. Let's keep an eye on our leader as he catches up to the... Yeah, and you can see the damage on the right front of Stack right there. So hopefully he can stay up out of the way, not cause any issue. Dickerson going to get by. It looks like Williams is going to dive down onto the apron, get out of the way of the leaders. He knows he's a couple laps down. It looks like the 55 of Todd Rush now is going to be the next car to go a lap down as Dickerson's reeling him in. Adams not really closing the gap. It was about, let's see here, when Kruger and Gardner, when I looked up earlier, it looked like it was about 1.2 seconds when Adams took that second spot. It is about he's down to about 6/10, so Adams is making up some ground. And sometimes that'll happen when you get through this lap traffic right there. The leader has a little bit more difficult time getting through the traffic, but the second car through, the lap cars know that leaders are coming, and they'll move out of the way a little bit sometimes for that second car coming through, and that may just be what's happening for Adams, because he is reeling in our leader right now, as they have a lap car of Rush in between them. Take a look at Kyle Soha and Jacob Barker going at it here. This is for 8th and 9th. A little bit further back, this is for 12th and 13th. You got Stephen Farrell and Mark Osier right there behind him. Todd Rush would be the next car, but he is a lap down. So this is going to be our next cars to go a lap down, Osier and Zerhoff. You can see the leader, Matt Dickerson, right there lurking in the background, and his teammate, that Vortex Motorsports teammate of Cliff Adams, is right there with him. Appreciate you spending your Friday night here with us here at DRSN, bringing you the Half Decent Racing League. 210 laps here at Rockingham. We're 36 laps in, and it has been all Matt Dickerson, but you can see in the mirror, here comes the 80 of Cliff Adams. He is now only about a half a second back, which translates to about 10 car lengths on the racetrack. They're going to put a lap here on Cody Zerhoff in the 54. This long green flag run to open this race up right now. We're seeing cars go down a lap early, as they've now lapped up to about the 12th place car right now. Or they're actually, that'd be the 12th place car of Oster right there in front of him. And Mark's actually running a good job. Started back in 21st. He started dead last in his field. Oh, somebody in the wall right there. It looked like that was the 54 of Zerhoff, as he was kind of trying to get out of the way of, looked like the second place running Adams actually got into the wall off of 2. And we've seen that happen all day long. We've seen a lot of drivers catching that wall off of turn number 2. And what you're doing is you're trying to push the car as hard as you can off the corner, and it just wants to go up the racetrack on you. And if you don't get out of the throttle soon enough, you're going to catch that wall, because it kind of, the wall off of 2 kind of pinches you off a little bit right there. You can see it kind of how the back straightaway kind of narrows up off the corner, and that's exactly what's happening to these drivers. They're just catching that wall off the corner. Cliff Adams lost a little bit of ground through traffic right there. He's now back to a full second. He was up to 6/10. Cody Zerhoff going to go down to the pits. One of our sponsors, Collateral Damage Sports Network. You see in the bottom right-hand corner, they do all of the overlays for SDK. If you're an SDK user out there, if you do broadcast or if you use it for whatever, anything else for your streaming or whatever, he does all the different overlays that you see on here. A lot of this stuff, like this tower telemetry right here, the little prompts we're getting here on the bottom, it shows drivers at black flags, going to the pits, whatever. Those are not standard features of SDK software. These are all plugins for my buddy Shane Cochran at Collateral Damage Sports Network. If you're looking for any of that stuff, get on the SDK Discord, find him on there in the marketplace. He'll get you hooked up with a bunch of this stuff. But most of these graphics you're seeing, any of the special stuff we're going to have on here, you're going to see tonight, all coming from him. So if you're looking for some of this stuff, check it out. It's always, if you're a fellow broadcaster out there, whatever you can do to make it look as good as you possibly can, and that's what Shane will help you out with. So Ron Kendall Masonry, sponsor here at Half Decent Racing League, bring you coverage here tonight of the Rock 200 at Rockingham Speedway as we check in here on Justin Kruger and Colton Gardner. Gardner's now reeled in Kruger for that third spot. There's only a few car lanes back, and you see Colton's able to run the right down on the white line. Kruger's up just a little bit, a couple of car widths. That looks to be really paying off here for Gardner because he's getting into the corner so much deeper. Getting a pretty good run off right here. Kruger able to hold on to third. We're 43 laps in. Looks like we've got a few drivers still in the pits. I see Zerhoff down there. Eli Stack still in the pits. He's been down there for about 3 minutes. Connor Fuse looks like he's retired. He's now been in the pits for about 10 minutes. A few other drivers that have taken an early pit stop. Jesse Singleton, Jack Robbins, and TJ Williams. But right now it is still Matt Dickerson. And it has been all Matt Dickerson in the 44. Started from the drop of the green flag and he's led every lap, but he can see the 80 of Cliff Adams right there behind him as they make their way around the lap car of Stephen Farrell. So they have now lapped up the 11th place driver. So it's Matt Dickerson, Cliff Adams, and it's about 4 seconds back to Colton Gardner and Justin Kruger in that battle for third. Keep an eye on this battle for third, as it looks like Gardner has made his way around Kruger. Let's see if we can find that pass. Kruger looks like he had trouble holding the middle of the racetrack, pushed way up, has to get out of the throttle. That's going to let Gardner get a good run off of two. And Kruger did exactly what we were talking about earlier. The car really pushed up him off the corner. He had to get out of the throttle. And you can see just how much of an advantage that was to Gardner. He not only got past him, he drove away. All right. With Dickerson and Adams. Adams closing in as they're going to put a lap. It looks like for 12 with Barker. And they keep up this pace, they're going to lap the whole field. Barker running 10th right there. Dickerson and Adams now just running a blistering pace. Look at last time by. Looks like about the top 8 or 9 all in the 25s. The rest of the field running 26s. And maybe even a mid-27 here and there. So it is about, let's see here, Dickerson, Adams, Gardner, and Kruger, top 4. Then it's about 10 seconds back to Shane Williams. Half Decent Racing League, the Rock 200, lap 48. 210 laps. We have been green since, well, we've been green since the start. So we've been green since the drop of the green is what I was going to say. Then I stopped myself because it just sounded kind of silly. We'll take a look back here. Gardner in the third spot. He's got Mark Osher right there in front of him. It looks like maybe Barker as well. So a couple lap cars. So Gardner now finding his way around lap traffic. He's got the 71 right there in front of him. Mark not really giving away to him at the moment. He's gonna peel down to the bottom of the racetrack and give Colton the outside. So the 41 finding his way through traffic. Next car in front of him is going to be the 12 of Barker. We've been a little under the weather all week, so but we have, we got our first caution. First caution out, and I'm not quite sure who it's for. Let's see if we can find out what happened here. I don't see anybody really off the pace. May have been the 40 of Hobbs. But we have our first caution here at lap 51. Let's see if we can see what happened, or see if we can find out who it was. Looking here at the 40 of Hobbs. Usually we get, so for those of you that don't use the software that I was talking about earlier, SDK, we get a little notification. It kind of tells us who was involved in the incident. I've got nothing here. It just, yellow came out. I'm not sure what it was for. Are we running stages? Nobody told me. Is that what that was? Alright, so we got a caution going on. I'm going to try to figure out, maybe that was a stage 1. we're going to check it out. That'll be exactly what it was. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a minute. Appreciate you being here with us. We're going to get a, we're going to figure out what that caution was for. And then, so we're going to have a little word here from AI Chief.
Are watching Precision Entertainment. Let's take a quick break from the action of the Cyber Thunder Rush Championship Series, presented by me, AI Chief. Now, driver, while the field gets sorted out and someone out there is still trying to find reverse, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in the middle of a race and thought, man, I really wish someone in my headset would tell me what the hell is going on? Maybe you're running out of fuel. Maybe the leader is about to lap you. Maybe you just wrecked half the field and you're pretending it wasn't your fault. Well, driver, that's where I come in. AI Chief, your personal crew chief, race strategist, motivator, and occasionally the only voice of reason between you and the outside wall. With AI Chief, you get live race strategy, fuel and pit calls, real-time race updates, savage coaching when you start doing something dumb, and trust me, based on what I've seen out there tonight, some of you really need the help. AI Chief doesn't just tell you when to pit, he tells you when to save fuel, when to push, and when to maybe, just maybe, stop trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. So if you're tired of racing blind, and you'd like a crew chief that actually knows what he's doing, head over to AIChiefRacing.com and let Chief get you sorted out. Because the only thing worse than wrecking is wrecking without knowing why. AI Chief, I've got your back. Now let's get back to the action.
All right, so we are back live, and that's exactly what it was. It was a stage break, so we had stages at 50 and 100. We will get that program in this time by, so we don't make that same mistake. So I thought we could go caution free here, but I guess stage caution. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. All right, lights are out on the pace car, so Dickerson led all of stage number 1. But it was Adams who beat him out of the pits here, so Adams is going to take the start here. Dickerson's going to start to his outside. There goes our choose car, our choose cone as they call it. We'll bring you live coverage of the choose cone next time by. We'll take a look at our leaders here. It's pretty boring. It's Matt Dickerson for 51. Cliff Adams has now led 4. Pace car's going to pull in there off the corner, off turn number 4, going to pull down hard left-hand corner down pit road. It's going to be Adams and Dickerson, Kruger, Gardner, your top 4. Only 10 cars on the lead lappers. We start stage number 2, and Adams with a great start on his Vortex team, Motorsports teammate. Ignore the black flag down there. That's because of the choose cone. So Adams, Dickerson, Gardner, Kruger, now your top 4. Let's see if Adams and Dickerson can get away from the field like they did last time. It was about 5 seconds back to Gardner and Kruger for that stage, before we came to that stage caution. Battle here side by side. Bowling in the 5. Bowling had really good pace early on, but fell back through the field, trying to crawl his way back up there. He's back in 8th right now. He looked to be one of the quickest cars on the racetrack in that short run early, but fell off as we got into that longer part of that run. All right, so 50 laps to stage number 2, so we don't have to worry about a green flag stop here. They made 50 laps on the first stage, so I'm assuming they can do it on this one as well. So in the last 110 laps, we may have a 3rd stop in there somewhere. They've been pretty clean and green so far. Adams, Dickerson, now Gardner hanging on right there in 3rd, but he's got his hands full with Kruger. Kruger looked to the inside into turn number 1, the 29, trying to get 3rd spot back away from Colton Gardner. Holder's not going to really put up a fight. He is just going to kind of let Kruger go by there. Gardner's not going to fall back to 4th. Back there in the 5th spot, Zachary Steele in the 88. First time we've called his name all day, up 9 spots. Started back in 14th, up to 5th, so Zachary Steele with a good run. And Charlie Bolin, once again, got some really good pace early on in this stint. He has cleared that pack of cars there behind him. He's moved up to 6. Let's see if he's got anything, if he can run down our top 5. A little tire smoke right there in front of our leaders. Not sure who that was. All right, Cliff Adams, Dickerson, Kruger's got some really good pace right now. Actually, he's looking to challenge Dickerson for that second spot. Is he doing donuts in the pits down there? I'm not quite sure what that smoke is every time we come off of turn number 4. All right, top 4 actually starting to get a little bit of separation now. Steele had a good run, got himself up to 5th, but he is starting to fall back, and you can see the 5 of Bowling, they're starting to reel him in. Mark Osher also with a great run, although he is a lap down at this point. Is he? No, Mark is not a lap. Yeah, he is a lap down. He's a lap down in 11th there in the 71, but he started back in 21st, so he's moved up 10 spots, so we'll jump back up here to the front. Adams, Matt Dickerson, Vortex Motorsports teammates 1-2. That's Justin Kruger and Colton Gardner right there, 3rd and 4th. The Rock 200 at Rockingham Speedway Half Decent Racing League brought to you by brought to you by Ron Kendall Masonry Incorporated. Bringing you all the coverage here from the Half Decent Racing League. Cliff Adams has been consistent all night long. Started in 6th, did not qualify very well, but he got himself up into the top 2 about halfway through that first stage and hasn't looked back. Dickerson, I thought, was going to dominate this race, but the 80 of Adams are working pretty well. Adams got a little bit looser off the corner. That's going to allow Dickerson to close up the gap right there into 3 and 4. This looks like our top 4 cars right here. I think about the only car that has about the same pace. Looking at our lap times this time by, fastest car on the racetrack by 0.2 of a second was the 5 of Charlie Bolin. And you can see Charlie right here. He's making up some ground on the 88 of Zach Steele. We'll see if he does the same thing he did in that first stage. Set a blistering pace, but fell off towards the end. Right now, he's pushing pretty hard. He's reeled in that 5th place car, but I don't know if he can have enough time or enough tires underneath him to make his way up to that top 4. They're already separated out. It's 3 seconds back from the 4th place running Colton Gardner back to Zach Steele. We can see Adams right here topping out at about 154, it looked like, at the end of the straightaway. We'll see what he does down here, down the front stretch. Roll off at turn number 4. Our top 4 look pretty consistent right here. About 163 mile an hour down to turn number 1 for Cliff Adams. Dickerson not able to hang on the back bumper, but he has got Justin Kruger right there behind him. We'll jump on the nose cam here with Justin Kruger. And down to 3 and 4 one more time. Take a look back here from Dickerson. Kruger's getting a little bit better run in the corner, but it looks like Dickerson's able to get a better run off. All right, unless something crazy happens, I think the win's going to come down to one of these 4 drivers, unless we get some late race cautions or something somewhere. If we get a short run somewhere, my bet's going to be on the 5 of Bowling, but right now he is quite a ways back, as he caught the 88 of Steele, but just not able to do much with him. Some webcams set up earlier, but the last I looked, nobody had joined the room for the webcam. Let's see if somebody joined in late. No driver webcams for us tonight. All right, Cliff Adams, Matt Dickerson. Still 1 and 2. Our Goldsboro, North Carolina driver won last week at Martinsville, looking to make it back-to-back here at Rockingham. He's got 2 wins on the season, trying to get his 3rd. Matt Dickerson, our point leader, actually losing a little bit of ground, so Adams starting to put a little separation on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right here. Actually got here on the racetrack to take a look at this battle for 4th and 5th. Looks like Bowling's going to have to put a little pressure here on Steele as they head down into 1 and 2. Does he have anything for him? Has to back off just a little bit. Actually, Steele able to get in the corner a little deeper. A little bit different line into the corner, about a couple car widths off the bottom. Seemed to work really well there for Zach Steele. Thanks again for joining us here on DRSN. We have races. This is our last race of the week on the channel. Then we come back next Tuesday night, and if you like some dirt racing, join us Tuesday night for the Dirty Old Bachelor's 360 Sprint Series. Some of the top dirt drivers in all of iRacing join us for that series. We're going to take the 360 Sprints to Port Royal on Tuesday night, also Tuesday night, and that's at 9 o'clock Eastern. We come back at 11 o'clock Eastern for the Western Racing League Truck Series. Then Wednesday night we're going to get a little fun one. It's a Little Mazda MX-5 Series brought to you by the Fresno SCCA Club of Fresno, California. Anyway, I think we had about 10 or 12 drivers for that race a few weeks ago. We don't know the track. They're on a mystery track next Wednesday night. And then Thursday night of next week, we'll be back for the Nitro Zone Racing League Truck Series. Me and my buddy Tim White on that Thursday night. And then Friday night, once again, next week, we'll be back here for another race here for the Half Decent Racing League. So full coverage of races next week here on DRSN. This is our last race of the week here tonight with the Half Decent Racing League. We're really happy they've asked us to join them. First race was last week. We're going to be here all season long if they'll have us. But right now, we have 210 lap race here at Rockingham. We're about halfway through stage number 2. 22 laps left to go here in the second stage. And it has been all Vortex Motorsports drivers, Cliff Adams and Matt Dickerson. Stephen Farrell made his way up into the top 10. So right now, all 3 Vortex Motorsports drivers in the top 10. We'll take a look back here. Kruger and his teammate Joe Gibbs teammates, Kruger and Soha in the top 10. Hobbs just kind of out of there in the 13th spot. Then we go back here to Colton Gardner. Colton is listed as a Smoky Mountain Racing. He's not by himself. There's CZ Motorsports, 4 drivers in the field tonight. Steele and Bowling. So maybe that's why we don't see Bowling putting a lot of pressure on Steele right there. And actually, take a look there. Steele has really dropped off. Bowling's dropped way back off the pace of Steele. So once again, I think we've seen the same thing here from Bowling. Really good on the short run, but using his stuff up and falling back here, as he is really falling off the pace here about halfway through this second stage. So Charlie's got to find a little bit of balance here in that 5 car. He looked really quick early. Look at our lap times by. He was about almost a half a second off our leaders and 0.2 of a second off of his teammate. So we'll see how this plays out for him. But right now the 5 of Charlie Bowling still in that 6th spot right now. Look back through the field. It looks like everybody else pretty well separated out. Take a look here at Shane Williams. Shane ran 2nd last week at Martinsville. He's 8th right now. Right behind him is the 129 of Stephen Farrell. And the last car on the lead lap is the 11 of Kyle Soha. Let's see here who else is. Eli Stack looks to be out of this race. We got a few drivers down a few laps. TJ Williams finds himself down about 4 laps. Cody Surhoff as well, so they're not having the day they would anticipate. Take a look at our Street Revolution teammates of Jesse Singleton and Jack Robbins running 14th and 15th right here. Notice the tail. Ohio Sim Syndicate, I don't have a logo for them, so Shane Williams and Eli Stack are 8th and 9th. I think the only other team we really cover is the Blue Ridge Racing of Jacob Barker, TJ Williams, and we see Williams here down on the bottom of the racetrack. Maybe took a little more damage on that right front. It looks like he did. But Connor Few, that is your Blue Ridge Racing team. So Williams, once again, here with a little trouble. He had trouble in stage number 1. He is down about 6 laps right now. Falling off the pace one more time. We jump back up to the front, and as we were kind of scrolling through the field, we got ourselves a battle up here. Oh, contact right there with Kruger and Dickerson. Kruger got up alongside of Dickerson there for that second spot, but they made contact off of turn number 2. Let's go back and take a look at that here and see what happens. Dickerson goes up the racetrack, gives that bottom of the racetrack to Kruger. He's drifting up pretty high. Kruger takes the bottom, and as Dickerson kind of comes back down to the middle of the racetrack, they just kind of meet in the middle right there. Let's take one more look at that. Maybe from a little bit different angle. And you can see Kruger enters down to the bottom of the racetrack. Dickerson way up on the top. And Kruger's still way down there. They just kind of meet down in the middle. I think Kruger was coming up, Dickerson coming down. And they just met in the middle of the racetrack. Hey, Ricky Miles, see you there, buddy. Looking, just send us a note, man. Send us, let's see here. Let me know your details, what you're looking for, buddy. Send me an email, just give me an email or something there in the chat, and I'll reach out to you. Or you can find our Facebook page. Look for DRSN on Facebook. You can find us on there too. All right, so unfortunately for Matt Dickerson's had a really good pace all day long, but that contact is going to put him into the outside wall. And you can see he is struggling right here. He's got some damage. He is hoping for a caution. I think he's just trying to limp it here to the end of this stage and then try to get some repairs. He is falling back though. 12 laps left to go. Cliff Adams still out in front. He's led most of this race. About a second back now to Justin Kruger in the 29. So Kruger Gardner now falling back a little bit into third, and it's Dickerson just trying to make it. I think he's just trying to make it to the stage right here. You can see that the 88 of Steele and Bowling both closing in on the 44 of Matt Dickerson. 10 cars still on the lead lap right now. The last car on the lead lap, as we saw earlier, is Kyle Saha. And he's actually closing in on the back of the 129 for Farrell. He's got Williams right there in front of him as well. Williams now up to 8. So Adams is going to make his way around the 55 of Rush, put him another lap down. That's going to put Todd Rush, it looks like he's going to be now 3 laps down at this point. Rush back in 15th. So it is Adams, Kruger, Gardner right now. We'll take a look here. Well, we got about what we're at the stage here. We got 9 laps left to go here for stage number 2. And the last stage is going to be probably 107 laps by the time they go green, I'm guessing, from lap 100 to lap 210. All right, Adams making his way, just dicing his way through traffic right here. He's still got Rush right there behind him. They make their way around the 54 of Cody Zerhoff. Kruger also gets by Zerhoff right there. He has got Rush now in between him. 55 of Rush, 3 laps down. He's in between our leaders right there. Let's see if he kind of moves out of the way. He moves up to the top there. Down the front straightaway, he does the same thing in 1 and 2. No, he's going to get down to the bottom, so Kruger's going to have to make his way around the 55. All right, Kruger's going to do just that, so he's cleared the lap traffic now. He's got clear sailing up to the 80 of Adams, but he's about a second back right now. Take a look back here at the 44. Dickerson definitely fighting some damage here. But he just does not want to come in and pit here before the stage is over. He's got 6 laps left to go. It looks like he's going to be able to stay on the lead lap. But Zach Steele here is going to make his way around, so Dickerson now falls back to 5th. Bowling now up to 6th. Shane Williams, Chris Farmer, Kyle Soha, and Stephen Farrell rounds out our top. Oh, who's that? That looks like Mark Osher in the 71. Making a little contact with the wall coming off a 2. Mark back in 12th right now, still fighting it. And that's what happens here. You let that, you burn that right front of your Rockingham, and you are going to struggle keeping the car down off the outside wall. And you see Mark doing that right now off a 2. Once again here, kind of running that higher line is going to get a good run here. But as you come off the corner, as we talked about earlier, that outside wall tightens up on you. All right. With Dickerson with some problems, it is now all Cliff Adams. About 1.1 seconds back to the second place. Justin Kruger going to come across the line. There'll be 3 laps left to go here in stage number 2. And Bowling now looking to make his way around Dickerson. So Charlie Bolin, I think he's the fastest car in the short runs, but after about 15 laps, he's wearing him out. And he has had to kind of settle back in here. All right, gonna come across the line here, come off a turn. Where are we at here? We're on turn number 2. About a lap and a half left to go here for to finish up stage 2. Looks like we got looks like Matthew Hobbs right there going down another lap as Kruger's gonna make his way around the outside. Adams comes off across the line. 1 more lap to go here in second stage here at Rockingham for the Half Decent Racing League. And it was Matt Dickerson all in stage number 1. Stage number 2 has been all Cliff Adams. Coming from at a half a lap left to go here. We get our second caution flag. We've been green. No incident cautions here so far. Only cautions for the stages. And it's going to be Cliff Adams going to come off of turn number 4. He's going to take the stage win here. The caution is going to fly. The TGK Holland and junk removal caution flag in the air as Cliff Adams takes the win here in stage number 2. Justin Kruger, Colton Gardner, Zachary Steele, Matt Dickerson, Charlie Bolin, Shane Williams. Now we'll see if Dickerson can get some repairs made on here. He's going to have some time. All right, so we're going to jump away here for a minute while they get their pit stops underway. Give me a chance to catch something to drink. You're gonna hear a word from Admin Box. If you do a race control, even if you're looking for some buttons you can program for your racing rig, check out Admin Box. Use the code DRSN-BOX BOXX for a discount on your order. We will be right back. All right, we are back live with the Half Decent Racing League. And here's something you don't see in many other leagues. Here at Half Decent Racing League, they use a choose car. And you can see Corey Bodeno out here driving the mini stock, the Blue Ridge Racing mini stock. Going to set his car on the racetrack. And that is going to be the so you see some what in NASCAR they use the choose line. You see in dirt track racing you see a choose cone. Well, here at Half Decent Racing League they use a choose mini stock, and you can see him lined up there in the middle of the racetrack. Looks like Adam's going to go to the bottom. See Kruger to the bottom, Gardner to the bottom, Dickerson. Now we did get a chance to talk to Matt Dickerson there in the caution, and Matt did have some damage on there, so he's going to looks like he got it repaired. He's back out there on the racetrack. And you can see our choose cone. We're going to have a little fun in the infield right there. Going to pull it back in. We're going to go green. Looks like we're going to go green on lap 103. Or excuse me, lap 105. So we're going to be just about halfway through this race when we go back to green flag racing. And Zachary Steele now up 12 spots. Up to second. He is going to start to the outside. Stage 1 winner, Matt Dickerson, back there in 4th. Stage 2 winner, Cliff Adams, is going to bring us to the line. Sorry about that. Been a little under the weather all week. I appreciate your guys' patience. If I pause every once in a while, I'm just having to catch a drink. So, all right, we're going to come off turn number 4. We're going to go green here to finish off this race. Green flag is in the air. Cliff Adams with a fantastic jump. He is going to clear Zachary Steele by about 5 car lengths into turn number 1. Steele up on the outside. Adams to the bottom. Here comes Dickerson on the outside. Ignore the black flag warning is down there on the bottom. That's just because of the choose cone. So Dickerson up to 3rd. He clears Kruger. Kruger to 4th. Bowling. Now watch Bowling. And we got a caution. Caution in the air. Once again, I am not getting a good notification of what's going on here. So we're going to have to change some settings here, so maybe I can figure out where the cautions are for. But it looks like it might have been involving Matthew Hobbs, as he's got a meatball flag. And you can see the heavy damage on the right front of Matthew Hobbs. We'll see if we can see what happened here. The Hobbs, it looks like Singleton also involved in something here after the caution. So first off, let's see if we can see what happened to Hobbs. You can see him kind of back there in the back. He's got Barker behind him in the 12. Osier down to his inside. Oh, it looks like Farrell. So it looks like a problem with Farrell's what started this. Go back and take a look at it here one more time. So we'll take a look at the 129 at Farrell. Oh, he gets down across the nose of the 11. I don't think he knew he was there. And Farrell up into the outside wall comes down and collects Hobbs. It looked like maybe somebody else get involved right there. So Hobbs with some heavy damage. We also saw Jesse Singleton with some contact here. Let's see what happened to Jesse. Maybe he just kind of came to a stop here. Yeah, Jesse just kind of parked it on the racetrack. All right, let's take a look here one more time, maybe a little bit different angle of Farrell. We'll go back a little further here. Gives me a chance to show off my fancy DRSN graphic. So we can see Farrell here on the outside. The 11's down there on the bottom. And just some contact right there. 11 was really not up alongside. So we'll let race control make the call on that. But contact there between the 11 and the 129 is going to send Farrell around. And unfortunately, Hobbs might have taken the worst of it there, as we saw Hobbs with the meatball flag. All right, back to live time here. Pace car out. So we ran through the first 2 stages without a caution other than the stage breaks. And we don't make a lap here in the final stage, and we're back under caution. Adams, Steele, Dickerson right now. Kruger is going to be our top 4. Watch the 5 of Bowling. As we've talked, he's been the fastest car on these short runs. Let's see if he can get himself up to the front. He started in 5th. He's running 5th. He got the number 5 on the car, so it's all 5 for Charlie Bowling tonight. All right, so let's watch the telemetry here. Another nice little toy we have here from our friend Shane Cochran at Collateral Damage Sports Network. We're going to ride along here in the car here with Cliff Adams as we go green. Up through the gears. Another great start for Adams. The whole key right here, just getting on the throttle quickly, some separation and not spinning the tires. And as you can see, that's another good jump there on Steele. Steele doing a good job hanging on to second. Dickerson there in the 44 in third. He's got the 29 at Kruger on his back. Sets of Bowling. Here comes Bowling. Charlie Bowling with a good restart there. Started fifth, now up to third. Watch the 5 of Bowling. He is going to show some pace here early. Going to get himself to the front and make up a little bit, maybe get some, put a gap between these leaders. He gets loose off of 2 right there. We see the 44 also getting loose, so pushing really hard. Charlie Bowling trying to get himself to the front. He knows he's quick early. He's got to do it. He's got to do it quick. He was a little bit, let's see, lap time by. Fastest car on the racetrack the last time by was our leader, Cliff Adams. So Cliff Adams has been consistent for this entire race. Winner of stage number 2, finished second in the first stage. Zach Steele with a fantastic run. Started back in 14th, up to second. All right, once again, appreciate you joining us here on a Friday night for the Half Decent Racing League. The Rock 200 at Rockingham. Dickerson gets a little bit loose. That's going to let Kruger get to the bottom. Kruger gets down on the apron. That kind of hurt his run a little bit there, but he's going to get a run off of 4. Dickerson back to the outside. This is your battle for 4th and 5th. These two got together earlier. That caused Dickerson to have to do some repair on that second stage caution flag. He is going to settle back behind Kruger. Gardner right there as well. And Barker, Jacob Barker, really good run. He was a lap down at one point. Has now made his way back up to 7th. We've got about 7 cars up on this lead battle right now. And then it's a little ways back, about 2 seconds back to the 25 of Shane Williams back in the 8th position. Gardner takes a look to the inside of Dickerson. So Dickerson was able to get some repairs, but he looks to be struggling here early. We'll see if maybe he's saving some tires or something, but falling back here. Kruger got by him. Gardner's getting by him, and it looks like Barker is going to try to follow the 41 by Dickerson, but Dickerson going to fight back on the outside. And Gardner's able to get a better run off of 1 and off of 2 here. Barker not able to follow him through, so Dickerson going to fall back to the 5th spot. Excuse me, back to 6th. Gardner's going to take over 5th. Zachary Steele in the 88. The CZ Motorsports teammates of Zach Steele and Charlie Bowling have found something here at the beginning of stage number 3. At the final stage of this race right now. 94 laps left to go. Watch the 88 and the 5. Let's see if we get some team orders here. I think the 5's a little bit quicker. We got a little smoke going on there in front of us, right in front of our leaders again. See where are we at on the racetrack. So our leaders right now coming off of turn number 2. The rest of the field coming across the start-finish line. We're going to turn off the pass for the lead because that doesn't seem to really be working correctly. So Adams had the lead, so he didn't just take it again. All right, Steele closing in here. About 5 car lanes back to Adams. Last time by, Adams still was the fastest car on the racetrack at a 1.66. Zachary Steele right there behind him in a 2.17. We're looking to have a battle for the lead here. It's Vortex Motorsports versus CZ Motorsports. Dickerson now is falling back behind Barker. So even after getting those repairs done, Matt Dickerson does not show in the same pace he showed early on in this race. We'll see if he's falling back here to save tires. We'll keep an eye on the 44's progress right now. We started on the pole, stage number 1, now falling back to 7th. All right, so we'll take this opportunity to kind of look back through the field. Right now is Adam, Steele, Bowling, Kruger, the 41 of Gardner in the 5th spot. Barker's now up to 6th. Matt Dickerson 7th. The 25 of Shane Williams in the 8th position. Chris Farmer still in the lead lap in the 31. He's back here in 9th. Kyle Soha in the 11, getting around the 54 of Zerhoff. Singleton right there behind him as well. So it goes back through the field. In the 11th spot is Mark Oser. That is the last car on the lead lap. Let me go back up to this battle up here. This is for 12th and 13th with Singleton and Robbins. So it's Jesse Singleton in 12th. This is the first car in lap. Actually, Oser, let's see, Singleton is the first car lap down. And around goes Soha. As I was looking over at my screen, Soha gets a little contact right there. Looks like we got a little more action going on in front. We see Singleton and the 54 Zerhoff going around. So I was looking over my timing and score, and I looked back up and saw Soha going around and a meatball flag there from Robbins and Singleton. All right, so let's see if we can see what started that. Singleton on the bottom of the racetrack, Soha up about in the middle, and Singleton just gets in a little deep. Looks like the car pushes up the racetrack. He gets into the left rear quarter of Soha. Is going to turn him around. I think is that Zerhoff on the outside? A great job. And unfortunately, as Zerhoff comes down the racetrack, he is going to collect Robbins. Zerhoff's going to go back in the outside wall. We watched what happens to the 52. And Singleton comes off of turn number 2 and catches the left rear of the 54 Zerhoff. So a couple different incidents right here as Zerhoff's spin around comes up and gets back into the 51. So let's just kind of let that play out. We're going to ride along here with Singleton this whole incident here on live time and see what happens. He gets up into the 11. The 11 gets down into the 52. They come off of turn number 2, and the 51 and the 54 come together. That puts the 51 on the wall. Zerhoff down on the inside wall. 50 hard contact for Singleton. He slides back up the racetrack and collects the 52 of Robbins. So it looks like race control has given Singleton an EOL. And they may be finding some fault right there on the 51. All right, so we got drivers going to take some pit stops. Bowling. Let's see here. We're on lap 1. So Charlie Bowling, the only driver staying out on the racetrack in the lead pack, which kind of surprises me there. As good as he's been on the short runs, he's going to stay out on the racetrack. The lap car of the 52 of Robbins right there behind him. Charlie Bowling, he's going to get up there and lead a couple of laps, but at the same time, did not make his way down pit road. Everybody else behind him did. He's going to stay out here one more time. So let's see. We've got we're going to come across the line. Looks like we're going to go around at least one more time. We're going to go to the choose cone here, the choose car. Like Todd Rush is going to be our lucky dog. All right, so this is going to shake things up quite a bit. Cliff Adams is going to be up on the outside of Bowling on fresh tires. Everybody else behind the 5 on fresh tires. Looks like everybody took 4 except for maybe. Let's take a look. There's another little graphic we have here for you. Our pit stop strategy, you can see right there. Charlie Bowling pitted 23 laps ago, took 4, but everybody else on fresh tires. Shane Williams looks like he took 2. Mark Osher with some repairs. So everybody else in the field took 4 tires. Williams on 2. We'll see how that plays out here for him. Lap leaders in this race, only 3, Adams, Dickerson, and now Bowling's led 2. All right, we're going to go green flag here. We see our choose car going to race the leaders down to pits here. But as we come off of 4, pace car is going to make that hard left turn one more time. We're going to go green, and it's going to be Charlie Bowling this time bringing us to the line. Charlie, that leader, gets another good jump right there. He pulls away here from Adams, about 5 or 6 car lengths. So let's see if Adams can reel him in steel up on the outside. Shane Williams with a good run off a 2 down on the bottom. He's got the 29 of Fugate right there behind him. Or Kruger, sorry. Charlie Gardner, Dickerson also back here to do this field. We'll see if he can make his way up there. Right now it is the 5 of Charlie Bowling out in front. About a half a second to the good right now. He got a great restart. But he does have looks like about 20 laps more on those tires than the rest of this field. So we're going to see how that plays out for him. Shane Williams takes a look underneath the 80 of Adams. Shane Williams just took 2 tires on the last run, but it doesn't look to be affected him too much as the 25 now gets her up into second. Shane Williams with some great pace there off of turn number 2. He has got a head of steam built up into 3. Can he reel in our leader right here? So Shane Williams finished second last week in Martinsville. He is looking to take the lead right here on Charlie Bolin. Gonna look to the outside, Bolin down to the bottom, Williams to the outside as they head down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Williams going around the long way, and he is gonna make it work off of turn number 2. He is gonna take the lead away from Charlie Bolin. A great drive right there from Shane Williams. Took 2 tires on that last pit stop, and it's really paying off here for him as he has now found his way to the front. Charlie Bolin, I think, is gonna regret not taking those tires here pretty soon as he's fallen back into the grass of the 80 of Adams and the 29 of Kruger. Colton Gardner also right there. Dickerson as well. Jacob Barker now up to 7th. Zachary Steele started up towards the front of that restart, but he is now fallen back to 8th, and Mark Oster back in the 9th spot. Mark is our biggest mover of the race. Started in 21st, up to 9th. But right now it is the 25 of Shane Williams has found his way to the lead, and he is starting to pull away. It's about almost a half a second now as they come off of turn number 2. A little wiggle there from Bowling. I am not quite sure what the strategy was, not taking tires. I mean, maybe everybody still has to make one more stop. We've got 78 laps left to go. I doubt they can go 78 on fuel. So he knows everybody has to take tires, or come in to take fuel anyway, so we'll see how this plays out. But right now he's doing a good job of hanging on to second on those older tires, but here comes Adams to his outside. We saw Shane Williams get by him on the outside just a few laps ago. Williams saw it. He is going to do the same thing. So it's now Adams, and he is bringing along his teammate, the Vortex Motorsports number 44, Dickerson. Dickerson charges. We got around Gardner and Kruger there pretty quick. I missed that as we were watching the battle up front. Dickerson made his way to 3rd. Kruger also going to get around Bowling here on the bottom of the racetrack, so Bowling is really struggling on those 20-lap older tires. He is starting to fall back there. He's got the 41. He's going to be the next car by, then Barker, and then his teammate of Zach Steele. Take a look here at Shane Williams. He is but right at about a half a second. We'll keep an eye on that gap back to Cliff Adams, see if Cliff can reel it in. It's actually now Matt Dickerson out of the inside of the 80 of Adams. Adams does not put up much of a fight. He knows Dickerson's got a little better pace right now. We saw Dickerson led stage number 1, got involved in that incident there with Kruger in stage number 2, had to come in to take some repairs, was kind of falling back there, but actually now making his way back up here to the front. Dickerson and Adams look to be the 2 class of the field, and here he comes right there. Dickerson reeling in Williams really quickly here. He has cut about 0.2 of a second off that lead on that last lap. The 44 and the 80 on a tear. That tire strategy had taken 2 for Williams paid off here early in this run, but it looks like it's not going to pay off for him real shortly as here comes Dickerson. I think we're going to see Matt get up alongside of Shane here down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Now Williams able to hang on right there. So it's Shane Williams, Matt Dickerson, Cliff Adams, Justin Kruger, your top 4, Colton Gardner, the top 5, all 5 right here nose to tail right now. As Dickerson's off underneath Williams coming off of turn number 4. Going to come across the line, and it is going to be Matt Dickerson. Shane Williams fights back on the outside. Dickerson has to kind of pinch the car down to the bottom, loses a little bit of momentum. They almost make contact in 1 and 2. Dickerson gets the car loose off of 2. Has to chase the car down the hill, and that's going to let Adams get to his outside. Williams, Dickerson, Adams right now, and here comes Kruger again. He wants to get into this fight. Kruger down to the bottom, underneath Adams for 3rd. Some great racing going on here up front here for the Half Decent Racing League. Williams putting up a great defense. I thought Dickerson had him right there, but Dickerson had to fall back after getting a little bit loose off of 2. But here he comes one more time, down to the bottom in 3 and 4. Going to come off the corner, going to come across the line to complete lap number 140. We will have 70 laps left to go in this race, and it is Shane Williams doing a great job. Took 2 tires on that last pit stop back on lap 124. But Matt Dickerson coming in a hurry. Cliff Adams right there behind him. Take a look at the 88 of Zach Steele up on the outside of Barker. Wish I could do a split screen. I'm trying to keep an eye on both at the same time. But right now, Dickerson one more time on the inside. Let's see if he can make it work this time. Gets down in the corners, able to keep it down on the white line. Gets a much better run off of 2 this time. Williams tries to fight back, but just doesn't have enough. Matt Dickerson is going to take the lead here on lap 141. And Adams and Kruger are going to follow right by. So Williams is going to lose about 3 spots in a matter of a lap here, it looks like. He's able to fight back on the outside, but I think Kruger's going to drive by him down here in 1 and 2. Colt Gardner may follow suit. The lap car, the 54 of Cody Zerhoff. Cody's going to stay up out of the way. He has not had a great day in the 54. He knows he has nothing for these leaders. He gets up out of the way. Good job there for Cody. All right, so we've got a 5-car battle up here. Actually, it looks like a 6-car battle. Barker still in this fight. That's Zachary Steele still here. So 7 cars in this lead pack right now. Still anybody's race at this point. It has been mostly Dickerson and Adams, but Kruger's shown some really good pace here, as well as Colton Gardner. I think that 2-tire strategy for Williams paid off there early, but I think he's going to start fading back here, as it looks like Gardner's now going to look at his inside. Off of 2, down the back straightaway one more time. Up front, it is your 2 Vortex Motorsports teammates drivers of Matt Dickerson and Cliff Adams. Appreciate you joining us here on a Friday night. My name is Chris Murphy with DRSN. If you've got a league or a special event you're looking for some coverage, reach out to us. So we got our Facebook page posted up there in the chat. Reach out to us, let us know what you got. We'll see if we can fit you into the schedule somewhere. We cover just about everything from mini stocks to we've done endurance races. We do a lot of dirt stuff. We love the dirt. That's kind of our home. But we can cover just about anything. If you need something, let us know. All right, Matt Dickerson, Cliff Adams, Justin Kruger. That's your top 3. I think we've said those names about 100 times tonight. Let's look back to the field here, but Mark Osier started tail this field. He's running in the top 10. He's still on the lead lap. But he's out there all by himself. Kyle Soha involved in that last caution, or Saha involved in that last caution back here in 11th. You can see the 55 of Todd Russ right there behind him. But up front, looks like everybody's kind of settled down here. We've got 63 laps left to go in this race. We're single file for the top 5. Looks like Barker's kind of fallen off of this group. So has Steele. It's your battle for 6th and 7th on the screen right now between Jacob Barker and Zach Steele. As you can see, the 25 up the road just a little ways. Well, Matt Dickerson, our Ocala, Florida driver, Matt Dickerson. Let's take a look at our lap leaders here real quick. Cliff Adams led 73, Matt with 59. Shane Williams was able to lead 12 right there at the start of that 3rd stage. Probably bowling 6. We've had 4 different leaders in this race. We've had a few more lead changes than that. Take a look at what we call our wrench wranglers, drivers that have spent a bunch of time in the pits getting some repairs done. We can ignore the top one because that is our choose cone car cone. We'll just call it is it Triple C, the choose cone car. Cody Zerhoff's 3 minutes of repairs. TJ Williams with 1.5 minutes. Matthew Hobbs and Mark Osier have spent some time getting some repairs done too. Everybody else, I think we've had a few other drivers use their fast repairs that aren't showing up on there. That would be a nice stat to be able to see if anybody has any fast repairs left. I think I'll reach out to my buddy Shane Cochran and see if we can do a plug-in for that one. But most of these different, like I said earlier, if you've been here with us the whole show, and if you have been, I apologize, but most of these different graphics that you're seeing that we're showing that you don't see in a lot of other leagues, a lot of other broadcasts, are all put together by my friend Shane Cochran at Collateral Damage Sports Network. Check him out. Find him on the SDK Discord. If you use SDK and you're looking for some of this stuff, find Shane Cochran on there. He'll look you up. All right, so Shane Williams took 2 tires on that last stop, and it looks like they're finally starting to fade away on him here as he's falling back. It looks like Gardner's now reeling him in for that 4th position, so Williams and Gardner fighting here for 4th and 5th. Zachary Steele looks like he's made his way around the 7 of Barker. Let's see if we can find that pass here and show it to you. So it looks like Steele was able to run around the bottom of the racetrack right here off of turn number 2. Barker pushed up a little bit. Actually got a little bit loose. You can see him wiggle right there. That's going to allow Steele to get the momentum down into 3. That easy pass right there for Zachary Steele. So he's now up to 6th. So he's got clear sailing. So we'll see if the 88 has anything. If he can reel in Gardner and Williams up there in front of him up the road. But right now your top 3 have kind of set sail here. Matt Dickerson, Cliff Adams, and Justin Kruger. 56 laps left to go out of the 210. All right, it is Matt Dickerson. He's made his way around. Todd Rush going another lap down right now. He is the first car a lap down, but Todd is down 3 laps now at this point. So if a lucky dog, if a caution were to come out, he would get one of those laps back. Got 11 cars on the lead lap, and it's Todd Rush in 12th, 3 laps down. Jack Robinson also back there with a few laps down, but right now, up here to the front, take a look here at Justin Kruger. He is closing up on the back of Cliff Adams there. You can see the 80 car right there in front of him. So Justin Kruger doing everything he can to reel in Cliff Adams. They're going to make their way around the 71 of Osher. So Osher now a lap down. So we now only have 10 cars on the lead lap. Osher is back there in 11th. He was the last car lap down. Or he was the last car on the lead lap. But it's Kyle Soha now up in 10th. So we've got 10 cars on the lead lap here. With about 53 laps left to go. We've got 3 cars battling up here in the front. It is Matt Dickerson, Cliff Adams, and Justin Kruger. Then it's Shane Williams and Colton Gardner. Let's see if Zach Steele made up any ground. Zach's about 3 seconds back, it looks like here. He has put some separation between himself and Jacob Barker. Once he got around Jacob, he was able to kind of disperse of the 12th car. So I'm going to keep an eye on that gap between Steele and Gardner. It is right now at about 3.4 seconds. 52 to go. We're going to come across the line for 51 to go. Dickerson starting to put a little separation himself between himself and the 80 of Adams. It is now up to almost 0.7 of a second. So we started this race with 21. I think we've got maybe about 17 still on the racetrack. I think our retirees are Matthew Hobbs and Eli Stack. Matt's still in it, and Matt's in the pits right now. So Todd Rush going to make another pit stop here. All right, Matt Dickerson, it's almost up to a second right now, so Matt has found some pace here. Some of these other drivers are starting to lose a little bit ground. Last time by almost 0.3 of a second. Dickerson faster than Adams. Kruger ran a pretty good lap, about equal to Matt Dickerson, but he has got the other Vortex Motorsports teammate of Adams between him. And you can see if we watch Dickerson, he's able to kind of hold the bottom. Let's see what he does down into 1 and 2 here. He's able to kind of hold the bottom line. I see Connor up here in the chat. Thanks, Connor. Yeah, Connor Fuse also retired from this race. So Eli Stack and Connor Fuse and Matthew Hobbs look to be retired right now. So 3 drivers out of this race. We started with 20, we're down to 17. But watch Dickerson. He's able to hold the car down on the bottom of the racetrack. Let's see what goes on here with Adams and Kruger's head down at turn number 1. Adams going to roll in the middle. He's going to take it down to the bottom. He's going to let the car drift up a little bit through the center. Kruger kind of doing the same thing. Kind of diving in the corners off right there. And I think that's where Dickerson's finding a little bit of pace. It's now about 1.2 seconds between first and second. And that's actually a little bit of wiggle right there from Zurhoff on the outside of our leader. they put a lap on Kyle Saha there in the 11th spot. A battle here on the racetrack. It looks like we got Gardner's now starting to close up on the 25 of Williams. They've been kind of nose to tail here for a little bit. They might be making up a little bit of ground to Kruger. Watch that 54. He's been wiggling here a little bit. You're catching up to Zuroff right there. He has been struggling. He's doing a really good job staying up out of the way of the leaders. As Gardner closes up on the back of the 25 here for fourth. I've been keeping an eye on that gap between Zach Steele. Zach has actually lost a second to this group, so he's able to get around. Got a black flag for TJ Williams here for some reason. I'm not sure what that was. Maybe a... Looks like he came in for a pit stop, maybe speeding on pit road. Coming out right there, so Williams is going to have to come back through the pits one more time. All right, we have, let's see here, 44 to go. And right now it is Matt Dickerson, Cliff Adams, Justin Kruger, Colton Gardner. That is your top four, and then it's Shane Williams right here in the fifth spot. So Gardner just got around Williams as we were looking at TJ. So the two-tire stop for Shane Williams. He's starting to fade back. I think we're going to see some more pit stops here pretty soon. Our last pit stop for these drivers are back on 120, lap 124. And you could just see Shane Williams really fighting. And here comes Matt Dickerson. He's going to be our first leader down into the pits here for the final stop. That is going to hand his lead over to his teammate Cliff Adams. So what Matt's really hoping for is we stay green. He does not want the caution to come out as he makes his green flag pit stop here with 42 to go. And everybody else going to stay on the racetrack at least one more lap around. Actually, Williams is going to come down and take his two tires. So Shane did a good job getting himself up into the front, taking that two tires on the last stop. But unfortunately, he is started to fall back, so he's going to come in. I'm sure we're going to see him take four at this point. All right, let's see if Cliff Adams pits this time by. No, he's going to stay out another lap. We're going to keep an eye on the lap time. So Matt Dickerson did lose a lap there. Maybe he lost two. Looks like he lost 2 laps on that pit stop. And look at Colton Gardner. Colton Gardner has reeled in Justin Kruger. Kyle Saha right there between these two. Kyle pitted. He is not pitted, so he's about the same tire. And here comes Kruger down to the pits. Kind of a late decision right there. But he is going to pull down the pit road. That is going to lead Colton Gardner up into second. So it's Adams and Gardner and Steele, the 3 drivers on the racetrack that have not pitted. You ever see the 5 of Bowling? Bowling stayed out long on those tires earlier. He was able to come in. He pitted here on lap, where did Charlie pit? He pitted about 7 laps ago on lap 164. So right now the fastest car on the racetrack is Charlie Bowling right now. And he's running about a second and a half faster than our leaders right now. So we're going to see how this works out for him. He is coming through here. He's going to get one of his last back here on the leader, Adams. So he's going to go to the outside. Just keep an eye on Adams. Adams has got to pit here at some time, but he's going to go around one more time. There's now 4 drivers yet to make their final pit stop. It's Adams, Gardner, and some kind of an incident here with Kruger. Kruger's around off of turn number 2, and we've got a caution. Caution in the air for Justin Kruger. Adams, Gardner, Steele, and Farmer had stayed out on the racetrack and not made a pit stop. So it looks like, let's see here, it looks like the first car a lap down is going to be the 44 of Dickerson. Kruger had made a pit stop. So let's take a look and see what happened to him. I'm guessing it had to be self-inflicted. He's making his way off a pit road here. Just comes and just on the transition up onto the racetrack. Jess gets on the throttle a little too hard. Maybe missed a shift there. Or I'm not sure what happened, but let's see if we can jump in the car here with him. This is kind of an odd view in the car here, but And yeah, just kind of loses it right there. Spins the tires. Unfortunate for Kruger, made his pit stop here and just made a mistake coming back up onto the racetrack. All right, so let's see how this shakes out. We've got our leaders now coming down to pit road: Adams, Gardner, Steele, and Farmer. Kyle Saha had yet to pit as well. I think Dickerson. Let's take a look how this plays out here. Let's see if they end up on the racetrack at the end of the... Yeah, so I think they may get a wave around here. I think we're going to see Dickerson, Williams, Bowling all get a wave around. I think Kruger might end up a lap down. We'll see how this... See who ends up getting the wave around here. You can see a few more lap cars up there in front. We see, looks like Robbins. All right, so let's see how this plays out. Our leaders now coming back out of the pit. So Adams, Gardner, and Steele and Farmer are going to be your top four, although they're going to be kind of at the end of the end of this line. As we can see, the first car behind the pace car is the 52 of Robbins. He's going to drop down to the bottom of the racetrack along with the 12 of Barker. Let's see how this works out. Let's see if these guys are going to get a wave around. Doesn't look like it here. Or did they? Shane's going to get a wave around. I think we're going to see. Okay, there we go. So that's figured that's what's going to happen. Osher getting a wave around. Dickerson, Shane Williams. I think Bowling should as well. Charlie Bolin and Barker. And it looks like Kruger's going to get lucky there, even though he brought out that caution flag. He is going to get a wave around. It looks like he used his fast repair because I don't see too much damage on the car there. So in self-inflicted wound there for Justin Kruger, made a mistake coming out of the pits. He'd been running in the top three most of the night. On his last pit stop, going to bring out our last caution, and it's going to be Cliff Adams, Zachary Steele in the 88, Colton Gardner, Chris Farmer. That's going to be your top four. We're going to come across the line here. One more lap around. We'll see where we're at. All right, so the 44 of Dickerson back here. That's our fifth place running car, but he's got some lap cars in between. I don't know if he's going to be allowed to pass those lap cars or not. We'll see how this plays out. Not sure what iRacing lets you get away with. It looks like Bowling's going to go ahead and charge up there. Yeah, so is Dickerson, and so is Saha. Osher is a lap down. Still trying to get our lineup sorted out here. Pace car still on the racetrack. Let's see if it... Looks like Osher trying to pull down out of the way and let Dickerson go by. If I'm Dickerson, I do not want to be behind that 71 on the restart. You can see the damage on the right front of the 71 of Osher. Dickerson has a chance to get back there. He was the first of the leaders to pit here. He pitted back on lap 168. Most of the other leaders all pitted in this caution at 175. Pace car's going to pull in. It's going to be our start. It's going to be Adams and Steele up front. Keep an eye on the 44 of Dickerson. Let's see what he can do here right now. And watch the 5 of Bowling. Bowling has been quick on the short runs all night long. Steele not getting a good start. He is going to let Colton Gardner get by him for second. So the 41 now up to second. Highest he's been all day. That's where he started. He started outside the front run, now back up to second. Steele falls back to third, but he's pushing the 41 right here. Chris Farmer. First time we've seen Farmer put the front all day up to fourth. And the 5 of Bowling, and Dickerson did get stuck behind that 71. He's got Shane Williams right there behind him, so keep an eye on this battle here as Dickerson tries to make his way back up to the front. But right now, it is the 80 of Cliff Adams. 30 laps to go to come across the line. All right, let's see if we can stay green for this last 30 laps right now. Adams, Gardner, Steele, your top three, and they're putting a little separation back to Farmer. Bowling needs to get by Chris Farmer here quickly if he's going to have any chance to reel in the top three. As he is about to have his hands full with the 44, because Matt Dickerson is coming right there behind him as he has now cleared his way around the lap traffic. right. We're watching the 5 of Charlie Bolin trying to get around Chris Farmer for the 4th spot. He's going to take a look to the inside going into 1. Bolin with a good run. That's going to leave Farmer up to the outside. Farmer tries to fight back to the middle 1-2, just does not have enough. Has to give up the space. He settles back down to the bottom right there behind him. Dickerson in the 44 makes up some ground as well. He has got the 25 of Shane Williams in tow. They're trying to make their way back up to the front. They're hoping for another caution flag here. Up front, though, it is Cliff Adams and Colton Gardner showing the best pace he's had all night long. There in second. He is reeling in the 80. He's only about a car length back right now. 80 of Cliff Adams and the 41 of Gardner running 1 and 2. Zach Steele is kind of falling back. He's about 1.2 seconds back there in third. Then it's Charlie Bolin, Chris Farmer, Matt Dickerson, and Shane Williams. That's your top 7. Eight cars left on the lead lap. That's Kyle Saha back there in the 8th position in the number 11. But up front, we're fixing to have a battle for the lead. Oh, and around goes Adams. Adams loses it through the triover section. Into the grass, makes contact with the inside wall. We have no caution in the air. But Cliff Adams with... I had looked away at the wrong time. We're going to see if we can go back and see what happened. But you can see the heavy damage there. He's hoping for a caution. He's not going to get it. Let's see what happened to Cliff Adams. He came off of turn number 4 here. Oh, he just caught that wall. Caught that wall right there in the triover section. You can see that part of the wall that kind of sticks out right there, and he just made a mistake, got too high. Into the grass, into the infield wall. And we're back to live time, and unfortunate for Cliff Adams. It has been Cliff Adams and Matt Dickerson out in front of this race all day long. A big mistake there from the 80 is going to let Colton Gardner out in front. Zachary still in the 88, now up to second. So it was all Vortex Motorsports, but now it is Colton Gardner, Zachary Steele, and Charlie Bolin in the 5. We got 22 laps left to go. As we come across the line, the 44 of Dickerson starting to make up a little bit of ground here on Charlie Bolin. Try to take that 3rd spot away in the background. You can see the 31 of Farmer and Shane Williams. But out in front, almost a second and a half, Colton Gardner has found his way to the lead. This is his race to win right now. If there's no more caution flags, he has just got to keep up this pace. Zachary Steele does not look to be having the pace to catch him right now. As a matter of fact, last time by, Gardner was a 1/10 of a second faster. Fastest car on the racetrack was our leader, Colton Gardner, to 24.246. So it is Colton Gardner, our Tuxedo, North Carolina driver, with the lead, and he is stretching it out. It's now 1.7 seconds. Every time I look up, it's another 1/10 of a second. Back to Zachary Steele. We're going to get Zach to turn his picture right side up for us there. Bolin in 3rd. But look at Dickerson. Here's our battle for 3rd right now. Dickerson to the outside of Bolin. He is alongside the right quarter panel. Bolin's got to hold that car down to the bottom of the racetrack. He sees him out there. And once again, Dickerson's making his charge to the front, but he doesn't have a lot of time left. He makes his way up to 3rd. Bolin fighting back on the bottom, but I think Dickerson's going to clear him off for 2. He does. And Dickerson's got, what, about 5 seconds to catch the leader here in 19 laps. I don't think he's going to have the pace to do it. Not a chance. But we're going to see how it plays out. A late caution here might come into play here. But right now it is Gardner, Steele, Dickerson, as Dickerson has now cleared Bolin, and Bolin goes around. Bolin goes around Shane. He's going to collect the 25 of Williams. Williams back up the racetrack. The 11 of Saha is going to get into it. Robbins also. And that is going to be a meatball flag for the 25 of Bolin. I think he blew it up right there. You can see the smoke coming out of the back of the car. That is actually going to give, you see, it looks like the lucky dog is going to be Kruger. All right, that is going to reshape the race right here. Let's see if we can see what happened. I didn't see it start, but I have a feeling Bowling just got into that outside wall off of 2. Oh, they're 3 wide right here as Bowling comes down the racetrack. It's Kruger on the inside, Farmer there in the middle. I don't think Bowling knew he was 3 wide in that situation. Let's go back and look at that from the chase cam. As we can see Bowling up here on the inside. I mean, from that cam, it just looks like Farmer comes up and drives into him, but I don't think that's a good representation of really what happened. You can see Bowling up on the outside. Farmer's in the middle. He's giving him plenty of space, and then Kruger sticks his nose down there on the bottom. I think Farmer sees that. And there's a lot of racetrack left on the outside for Bowling. We'll see how the race control sees that. But unfortunate for Charlie Bowling. They're going to get together right here. And around he goes, and as he comes down the racetrack, Williams trying to avoid it, gets hard into the right side of the 5. Puts Farmer into the infield wall, and as the 25 gets bounced back up the racetrack, he's not holding his brakes very well right there. Doesn't look like he's going to roll up into the 11. All right. So that is going to put Colton Gardner out in front, and he had over a 1.5-second advantage back to Gardner, or excuse me, back to Steele. But that is going to allow Zachary Steele to close up on him. And Matt Dickerson, so let's see how this plays out. So we Steele, Gardner going to the bottom, Steele to the top. Dickerson's going to take the bottom of the racetrack. Kruger in the 29. Up to 4th now. Shane Williams, even though getting involved in that incident, is going to be in 5th. And I think we've only got 5 cars on the lead lap. But it looks like Williams dove down into the pits and used his fast repair right there. But he does have fresh tires, and we're going to see how that plays out. We're going to go back to green with about 14 to go. And Shane Williams let's see how long was he in the pits for. He was only in the pits for about 8 seconds, so not long enough to take 4 tires. Probably just long enough to maybe do this fast repair, maybe take 2. We'll see how that plays out for the 25. All right, so let's watch the 41 on the restart. He did not want to see that caution flag. He had a big lead. This was his race, but now he has got his hands full. Right behind him, Zachary Steele, and right on his back bumper, the 44 of Matt Dickerson. We're going to go around one more time, it looks like. Race control maybe trying to sort something out. Lights are out. We're down to 5 cars on the lead lap with Gardner, Steele, Dickerson, Williams, and Kruger. And then the first car a lap down is the 12 of Barker. Looks like we've only got maybe 10 or 12 cars left on the racetrack at all. You see Kruger is back there at the tail of this field, even though he is the last car on the lead lap in 5th. All right, green this time by Colt Gardner, Zachary Steele, Matt Dickerson. The 71 of Mark Osher there on the outside is a lap down. He's a few laps down at this point, actually. 25 of Shane Williams is in 4th. All right, we roll off turn number 4. The pace car pulls in. 13 laps left to go. We're getting green flag is in the air one more time. And it looks like Steele spun the tires on the outside. That's like Gardner gets away. It also allows Matt Dickerson down to the bottom. Let's see if Shane Williams can follow him by. Steele fighting back on the outside, but I don't think he's going to be able to fight for very long as Matt Dickerson now makes his way to 2nd. Colton Gardner with the lead right now, but he is going to have his hands full with the 44 here in about a lap or 2. Come across the line, 12 to go. Zachary Steele back in 3rd. Shane Williams involved in that last incident, had his fast repair left. He's up to 4th. Justin Kruger in 5th, kind of mired back there in traffic. But let's keep an eye on the battle up front. We ride on the nose cam here of Matt Dickerson down into turn number 1. And you can see him driving the car a little deeper. Actually, right through that corner right there, Gardner with a little bit of an advantage. Got into the corner better and through the center. of the corner a little better than Matt Dickerson. He lost a little bit of ground right there. A little bit different lines on both ends of the racetrack. Gardner running right at the bottom of 1 and 2, kind of in the middle of 3 and 4. Dickerson doing just the opposite. So let's see how this plays out here as they make their way through 1 and 2 this time by Gardner back down to the bottom. It is about 0.3 of a second here. 10 laps left to go. We started with 210, 200 down, 10 to go right now, and it's going to come down with any kind of late theatrics here or another caution flag. It's going to come down to this battle here with Gardner and Dickerson. Gardner's keeping that about 2.5 to 0.3 of a second advantage right now. Oh, Dickerson with a little bit of a wiggle there off of 2. 9 laps to go. Battle here for 3rd and 4th. Zach Steele doing a good job hanging on to that spot. Shane Williams on a little bit older, was not able to take some tires on that pit stop, so he is still in 4th. And then it's Justin Kruger still behind a couple of lap cars here in the 5th spot. We started with 20 cars. We're down to about 12. Maybe a few more made their way back out of the pits. Maybe we got about 16 or 17 on the racetrack, but only 5 cars left on the lead lap right now. It is Gardner, Dickerson, Steele, Williams, and Kruger. Williams starting to make up a little bit of ground. And that gap up here at the front is extended now. It's almost 0.7 of a second. It's down to 5 right there, about 0.5 of a second. As Dickerson got a good run off of turn number 2. All right, 6 to go when they come across the line. It is Colton Gardner stretching his lead out over the 44 of Matt Dickerson. Zachary Steele still hanging on that final podium spot, but he has got the 25 of Shane Williams all over his back bumper. Williams takes a look to the inside off of 4. He's got to run down the front straightaway. He is going to get up alongside of Zach Steele into turn number 1. Steele fights back a little bit, but just doesn't have the fight in him right there, and that is going to be Williams. Oh, Williams into the wall. Makes a mistake, gets into the outside wall. That is going to let Steele get back by him for that 3rd spot. All right, so Williams able to recover right there. That was a pretty hard hit with the outside wall. I'm surprised he's still got enough pace right here to reel Steele back in. Colton Gardner is stretching his lead. That is now 0.7 of a second back to Dickerson. So it is all Colton Gardner's race right now. He just cannot make a mistake. Williams alongside of Steele one more time. I'm not sure how he didn't take a lot of damage on the right side of that car on that one. But the 25 is going to take that podium spot back away from Zach Steele. I'm surprised that right side of that 25 is just not a pancake. All right, across the line, 2 to go. Popsicle sticks in the air for Colton Gardner. He's got 2 more laps around here at Rockingham to take another win this season here with the Half Decent Racing League. He has got the 44 of Dickerson behind him, but Matt Dickerson just does not have the pace. The battle for 3rd is starting to put a little separation here. Williams has separated himself about 0.4 of a second back to Steele, so our top 4 is a 3 under par. 1 to go for Colton Gardner. He heads through 1 and 2. A half a lap left to go now for the 41 to take home another victory here in the Half Decent Racing League. Going to roll through 3 and 4 here for the last time. Going to come across off of turn number 4. Going to come across the line, and it is going to be Colton Gardner taking the win. Matt Dickerson in 2nd. Shane Williams, Zachary Steele, Justin Kruger going to round out our top 5. That's the 5 cars on the lead lap. Jacob Barker going to come home in 6th position in the number 12. And Cliff Adams, who led a lot of this race, probably led the most laps. Unforced error, got into the wall, ended up losing a lap, comes home in 7th. Another driver that was fast all night long was the 5 of Charlie Boland. Gets involved in an incident late. He is going to come home in the 8th spot. But up front, it is Colton Gardner, and you can see Jacob Barker right there with him. So 41 and the 44 going to park it on the front straightaway. Here comes Shane Williams and Kruger into the fight. That's going to be our podium right there. Colton Gardner with the win. Matt Dickerson in second. Shane Williams coming home in third. They're gonna get a nice shot right here, parked on the front straightaway here with us. We'll see if we can find our drivers in the Discord chat. See if anybody's in the waiting room here for us. I don't see anybody yet. There we go. All right, let's get our winner up here. Colton, this is Chris in the booth. You got me, buddy. All right, hang on just a second. Let's get audio set here for Colton because nobody can hear him yet. All right, let's try that again. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that was a bit of an adventure, my friend. How was it from your side?
That was quite interesting. This only my third race in this league, and I was just trying to keep it straight the whole race. To be honest, I wasn't expecting what happened with the 80 to happen, and I just hate that for him. But it is a lot of fun racing all the way around from everybody.
I mean, we go green. I mean, green all the way through the first two stages, basically, and then once we get to that third stage, we start getting a few caution flags. And I'm with you, man. I was really surprised that Cliff had really good pace all night long. Did not expect that kind of unforced caution there, but man, you found your way to the front. You took the advantage of it, but late you had to see the 44 behind you. Were you a little worried when you saw him get clear of Zach for that second spot? When you saw Matt back there?
Yeah, I was worried because I knew like late in the runs that they were a lot quicker than me on old tires. They were able to just like after about 25 laps just yard me. But I think the 12 and 9 lap difference, I think, whatever it really was the big difference. But I had just had a feeling it would equal out. But it was a lot of fun battling all of them. And I I know it's just my third race in the league, but I've been trying to learn who is like champions and everything, and it was really cool to be able to battle that out with him.
Well, you showed some really good pace there. I fully expected, and I kind of talked it up. I fully expected Matt was going to give you a little more of the battle there at the end, but you just started yarding him, man. You had some great pace there at the end. Were you doing something a little bit different, or you just think you found something there at the end?
I I noticed in 3 and 4 he was maybe running up a little bit high, and so I just tried backing my corners up and trying to get a launch off the corner because I felt like if I got to the throttle sooner, I could just carry a lot of momentum down the front straightaway, which thankfully was the case. But um, yeah, he did put up a fight, and it's just a lot of fun.
Well, great job, man. Congrats on the win tonight. I know we're going to see you up here a lot throughout the season. But hey, man, before you go, anybody else you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to my teammates over at Blue Ridge Racing, um, and everybody at Smoky Mountain Racing. Uh, been a lot of fun. We've been dabbling in a lot of different stuff this year, and we've been relatively successful in everything. And it's been really cool to see what everybody's done this year with every league that we've won in. And uh, I want to shout out all my sponsors, my supporters, French Broadfire and Rescue. They've been a longtime partner of myself. And shout out to Outlier Speed. They're a relatively new uh, partner on board with us. And it's just really cool to be able to win.
Well, congrats again, buddy. And whatever else you do this weekend, good luck and have fun. And I'm sure we'll see you next Friday night.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, let's get our second place driver up here. Let's see. All right. Matt Dickerson. Well, buddy, that was probably a little more adventure than you thought it was going to be. You're kind of up and down. You gotten got involved in that cost damage earlier, had to use your fast repair early on in the race. Kind of give us your play-by-play of the events tonight.
Yeah, man, I was just riding and then I got caught in that. So, use that fast repair. And then it was weird. I used the fast repair and then like starting that last stage, it almost felt like it didn't fix it all, but I don't know, maybe I was just driving it like it was still damaged. But um, then I got back out front there close to the end and I was running kind of hard to get back up there. Like I got from like fifth to first, so I knew I wore my tires out a little bit. So, and I knew Cliff was saving them, so I figured I'd just split that whole last run in half and run, pit for four there with 40 to go, and then I try to run him back down by the end. And as soon as I pitted, like 2 laps later, the caution came out and I got caught a lap down. So that kind of messed me up. And then luckily I was able to get I got the wave around, but then I'm like 5 laps, my tires are, it was only like five or 10 laps longer on them, but they still had a slightly better tire. So it was kind of hard there at the end to do anything, especially with Colton.
Yeah, I kind of noticed the same thing. You came in and took that fast repair. I know we chatted under the caution there a minute, and I know you used that fast repair after that incident. And you're right. I mean, it just didn't look like it was really fully repaired. You actually lost a little bit of ground when you came
Yeah.
back out there.
Yeah, it was weird. It still felt like it was really tight. Like I almost still had wheel damage, but I don't know. Maybe I was just driving it different because I had to run it for like 10 or 15 laps of wheel damage. So maybe I just it might have been in my head. Might have been just driving it weird. But
Well, an uncommon. I've only been around the league for a couple of weeks, but it looked like a pretty uncommon mistake there from your teammate in the 80. It looked like you pretty much had the race handled at
yeah.
that point, and I mean, I know you guys were in chat together there. Did he say anything over the radio, or
Yeah, he basically
that you can
couldn't believe he
share
did
on
it.
here? Let's put it that way.
Yeah, basically he's like, I can't believe I just did that. And usually, he's pretty consistent. I don't know if I've ever even seen him wreck like that. You know what I mean, by himself. But he was Colton there was pushing him a little bit, and he was trying to push a little bit farther, and I guess caught that safer barrier, and it kind of just sent him. So, but yeah, he couldn't believe he did it. He's like, dang, I think I had that. So.
Well, that's gonna you came into the night with the points lead, running second. I'm sure it's gonna extend that lead there a bit for you. So, how you feeling about the rest of the season?
Yeah, good man. Hopefully, keep running consistent and get a couple more wins. It's fun. I'm glad we have way less cautions than last week. I knew that would happen though. Martinsville's freaking rough, so it was way better this week. It's fun.
Yeah, just a few kind of unforced errors there, caused a few cautions here tonight. But it kind of seems to, the first couple of stages we really didn't have much for cautions, and then once we got to stage 3, all hell kind of broke loose there. But
Yeah.
but good job, man. Good job fighting your way back up there. I mean, you lost that lap on the caution, and that kind of hurts. But like you said, the wave round really helped. But good job, kind of riding the roller coaster up and down. But before you go, anybody else you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah. I mean, Todd and all the admins for running the league, and my teammates, Steven and Cliff and Brendan. Yeah, Brendan wasn't here this week, but and then you for broadcasting, man. You're really good at this, and I can't wait to watch it back, dude. It was awesome watching last week's, even though it was caution every time, but it was fun to watch it back. You do a good job.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, man. I'm sure we're going to talk to you a lot more before the season's over with. So good luck the rest of the weekend, and we'll see you Friday night.
Yeah, man. You have a good night, buddy.
You too. Take care. All right. That was Matt Dickerson, our second place runner. Shane Williams. Hey, Shane, are you there, buddy?
I'm here.
All right. So we've been around the Half Decent Racing League ourselves for 2 weeks, and both weeks we're talking to you up here in the booth. Good job out there
I know, I
tonight.
was just thinking that. That's a good, well, I wouldn't say a problem, but that's a good thing to have.
Second last week. You had a really great run last week trying to chase Cliff down. Tonight was a little more of an adventure for you. You get involved in that caution there late. I'm guessing you had saved your fast repair.
Yeah, luckily I had my fast repair still. I just wasn't expecting him to come off the wall as fast as he did. There wasn't nothing I could do, but luckily I had my fast repair. I was able to fix her up and still drive her to third. I was honestly pretty shocked.
Well, kind of mid racer, you went a little different tire strategy than everybody else. You took on 2, and it really paid off for you. Got you up to the front, but it didn't seem to last very long. You look like you were fighting it pretty hard there, but it maybe it was that planned all along, or was it just kind of a spur of the moment thing for you?
I was hoping, my plan was to take rights, get up in the front, and then pit shortly after, and then take 4 and ride it all the way out. But then we had a couple cautions that prevented that from happening and kind of screwed up my strategy there. But the car felt amazing when I took the 2 tires. I drove right to the front and led some laps. It was just rotating really well. And then once that right front wore out, it was over. But I held my own up there, and I was pretty happy with that decision still.
Yeah, it really paid off for you. I was actually a little surprised how long you were able to hang on to it up there with just 2 tires. But man, you great job tonight. We got a long season here for the Half Decent Racing League. I expect you're going to be here for the whole season.
Oh yeah, I'll be here every week, man.
Well, good job tonight, man. Back-to-back podiums for you. Before you get out here, anybody else you want to give a thanks to?
Just you guys for putting this on and broadcasting. This is, like I said last week, this is making it so much more fun. And yeah, all the admin for putting on the show, and my teammates and everyone that supports me and lets me do this every week. I appreciate it.
Well, man, congrats again on a fantastic run. It's really fun to at least get, you're kind of the only one that really played a little bit different tire strategy up front. It just really gives us something else to talk about. So thanks for that, man. Good luck the rest of the weekend, and I'm sure we're going to see you up here next Friday.
Oh, I hope so, man. I hope we get to talk again. Hope
Perfect.
this is a regular chat.
There you go. All right, man. Take care.
Yep, you too. Thanks.
All right, that is going to wrap it up for our driver interviews. We'll take a look here at the full results here one more time. And let's see. I always got to click back here. Here we go. All right. So we started with 20 cars. I don't know how many actually finished. I think there was maybe only 17. Maybe only 15, it looks like, because Jesse and Pharrell were down. So, but we'll go back down. There's a Colton Gardner coming home with the win. Matt Dickerson, Shane Williams, your top 3 we just got done talking to. Zachary Steele and Forrest Justin Kruger able to make his way back up to 5th after some getting involved in a late race incident. Jacob Barker with a fantastic run going from 11th to 6th. Cliff Adams led a lot of this race. I know Cliff was disappointed. He put on a really good show up there, made that mistake. He still ended up crawling back to 7th. Charlie Bolin, we're gonna call him. We're gonna give him the nickname Short Run, I guess, because Charlie Bolin was definitely the fastest on the short runs right there, and he was coming to the front. Ends up getting involved in an incident there. Ends up coming home in 8th, but he looked fast all night long. Mark Oser, I'm going to have to talk to Mark here one of these nights and find out how to pronounce his name correctly, but started back in 21st, came home in 9th. He was consistent all night long. Ended up 4 laps down, but he put on a good show there for Mark. Comes home in 9th. Jack Robbins in 10th. 11th place is going to be Cody Zerhoff. TJ Williams stayed out there, finished this race 11 laps down in 12th. Kyle Saha in the 13th spot. Chris Farmer is going to come in 14th. Todd Rush in the 15th. Started back in 18th. Ended up 15th. Jesse Singleton got involved in a couple incidents there. Started in 8th. Fell back to 16th. Stephen Farrell going to come home in the 17th spot. Matthew Hobbs, Eli Stack, and Connor Fuse are going to round out our field. Mark Osher, hard charger, moved up 12 spots. Most laps led in this race. Unfortunate, did not pay off for him as Cliff Adams led 90 laps of this race. Fastest lap of the race was Colton Gardner. We had 4 different lead changes. I know that's not right. We had 6 different leaders. You can't have 4 lead changes and 6 different leaders, so we'll have to work on that stat. 6 cautions for 21 laps. That was much different than last week. Last week we had 23 cautions for like 102 laps. So much better racing here at Rockingham this week. Pole sitter was Matt Dickerson, but unfortunately going to come home in 2nd. So that is going to wrap it up here for us. Half Decent Racing League. Our 2nd week with them. We're going to be here all season long, and if I was smart, I would have the schedule up to tell you where next week is going to be, as I'm trying to stall while I'm scrolling through their Discord to find it. And, yeah, I'm not finding it. So we'll be back here next Friday night with the Half Decent Racing League. But coming up on next Tuesday, that is going to be our next event for, here at DRSN, and we're going to be covering the Dirty Old Bastards 360 Sprint Series. If you like some dirt racing, if you like sprint cars, make sure you're here for that show. Port Royal, big half mile of Pennsylvania. 360 Sprint Racing for Dirty Old Bastards. That's 9 o'clock Eastern next Tuesday night. Then we come back at 11 o'clock Eastern that same night for the Western Racing League Truck Series at Bristol. That should be a barn burner as well. Thursday night, actually Wednesday night, we got races Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday next week. Wednesday night, we've got the SCCA Club of Fresno Mazda MX-5 races at, it's a mystery track, so we don't know what the mystery track is yet. Then next Thursday night, the Nitro Zone Racing League Truck Series. And then we're back here next Friday night again for another adventure here with the Half Decent Racing League. So I really want to thank these guys for having us join them. It's going to be a fun season. We're going to try to be here for every single Friday. Well, we're going to be here for every single Friday. We're not going to try. But thanks for joining us. If you haven't subscribed or hit the like button or done whatever, or make sure you share it with your friends, share it with your neighbors, share it with your grandparents. I don't care. Just share it with everybody. We're trying to get the channel built up. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. And from all of us here at DRSN, thanks for choosing to spend your evening with us. I know you could have been somewhere else on a Friday, but I'm Chris Murphy saying keep it smooth, keep it smart. And if you can't do that, at least keep it entertaining for the folks at home. We'll see you next time. Good night.